I'm Pete Hendricks. At Hendricks Classics & Co., we focus on affordable luxury. Today, I'm presenting the Year of the Horse launch knives, as well as sharing the information you need so you can decide for yourself if one of these is right for you. These two knives are traditional gentleman's knives, a term I struggle with as they're great for ladies as well. They are slim, lightweight, and stylish. These two knives are smaller and could easily be carried in slacks or dress pants without creating a bulge. All of our knives prioritize high-quality materials, refined aesthetics, and polite, non-threatening usability over tactical or heavy-duty functionality. Not to throw shade at the heavy-duty and tactical knives, because I have quite a few of those and love them as well. But that's not what we're talking about. So these are Kershaw brand knives. Kershaw is a good name. We were able to get these via special purchase and are bringing them to you for $29.99 for either knife. Here's what you should know about these knives. They are stunningly gorgeous. A definite advantage. People will notice and comment when they see either of these. The fit and finish are very, very good, especially at this price point. They are smaller, being perfect for slacks or dress wear. The blades are made from D2 steel, which is one of my personal favorites, and the implication is that they will hold an edge for a very long time. We'll sharpen them at no charge when needed. You just pay for the shipping. Like all of our knives, these are non-locking and are legal for most of Europe, and that's probably all of Europe, but we haven't shipped to all countries yet. We do, if somebody from Europe or another country purchases a knife, we look into the laws there before shipping to make sure both ourselves and the recipient are going to be in good shape. We might not know everything, but certainly had no problem thus far. I think of the Brandywine and Gadsden knives as light-duty knives. Let me put some glasses on so I could see here a little bit better. So I mentioned that I think of the Brandywine and Gadsden knives as being light-duty. By that I mean they're great for common tasks like opening and breaking down Amazon packages, cutting loose threads, cutting strapping on bundled products, slicing food, and other similar types of tasks. They would be fine for cutting up a small amount of cardboard. I have to cut up a lot of cardboard in my job, and the smaller knives wouldn't be comfortable for this. Also, these two knives don't have safety features that I greatly prefer for harder use. They're fine for light use, I described, as long as the user pays attention and follows basic safety rules. And I'll show you what I mean. And all knives require following basic safety rules. So let me show you what I mean about the safety features on non-locking knives. So I chose this knife to demonstrate those safety features because we've mentioned this knife in the newsletter, and we have special pricing on it. And as you can see, it's the I believe the Obed Creek Trapper. I really think that the skull shield is cool. There you go. You can hopefully see it there. Very nice green micarta. And let me show you now the safety features. These knives, as with all Rosecraft knives, it takes a firm hand to open them. And notice how the blade stops at 90 degrees. That's called a half stop. And then you open it further and you can, use as needed. And so the two things that add safety are when it's firm, when it takes a firm hand to move it, that's good. And the half stop is good. So watch as I start closing this knife, you can see it's going to stop at that half stop. And if you get crazy, it might not stop it. But again, you pay attention to what you're doing and just follow basic safety rules. So, and while I was talking about the Obed Creek Trapper, it has a drop point blade, lots of belly there for slicing. So, let me get back to the topic at hand. So, the first of the knives that we have today is the Brandywine. And you can see how it compares in size to the Obed Creek Trapper. Now, watch when I open these blades. You know, it does take a little bit of effort to open, but not as much as with the Rosecraft. And notice there's no half stop. So, you know, going from here to closing on your fingers, you know, if you're not paying attention, is something that could happen. And I also released a video showing the main areas to be careful of. And so this is a great blade for cutting, for anything you do piercing. Then we get over here, and this is they call these sheep's blade knives because the edge is completely straight and it curves down there. These knives are this type blade is incredibly useful. I use them every day. I always have a knife with me that has one of these type blades on it. And then we finally get to the spay blade. And they, you know, originally these were used for, you know, for castrating animals, livestock, and you know, they still are good. Where I like this type blade is when you want to work around something and you don't want to poke the end into it, and when you're slicing, they're I'm just going to say it, they're not as useful as other blade types, but this is a Stockman knife, and that's what you get with a Stockman knife, and it is still useful. And so I've covered that. This is the Gadsden, which is a trapper, and this one has more firm. You know, it was harder to open, and also I have on the exam gloves so I won't get fingerprints all. Excuse me, so I won't get fingerprints all over everything. This has a longer. That would be either a spear point or a clip point, but it has a longer blade. It's still not that long, you know, it's less than my finger. And so there's that. This one would definitely be harder to close on your fingers. And then you have the spay blade, and you know that's what the typical trapper. I don't want to be overly critical of the spay blades because they do have good uses. I use this type blade a lot for scraping stuff off of. They're good for scraping things off of other things. They're good for slicing. You know, it does have a point, but you get plenty of room to work with where you can work with materials you don't want to pierce. And so, you know, it is a good knife. And the trapper knives are among the most popular of the traditional pocket knives. And so, again, they're just gorgeous. Okay, so I won't blabber on here. The main thing I wanted to do though was explain about these two knives, and so you can decide for yourself if it's a good choice for you or someone you know. Thank you.